She wasn't the kind of girl you noticed. Not at first. Jennifer Pan was a quiet girl, the kind that teachers liked, the kind that always smiled, the kind that never said no. But silence can be deceptive. So can smiles. And Jennifer's entire life was a lie, one that led to a night so dark, so calculated, it left her father bleeding out on the floor, her mother dead beside him, and her face on the news, playing the victim. This isn't just a story of murder. It's a story of pressure, of expectations so high they suffocate. And what happens when the need to escape becomes more dangerous than the cage itself? Born in 1986 to Vietnamese immigrants Bich Ha and Han Pan, Jennifer was supposed to be their pride. And for a while, her parents had nothing when they arrived in Canada. Just factory jobs, long hours, and one promise. Our children will have everything. But in return, they demanded everything. There were no birthday parties, no sleepovers, no dances. There was piano, figure skating, and school. Always school. Jennifer's grades were the heartbeat of the household. A B wasn't a mark, it was a betrayal. So Jennifer did what she thought she had to do. She started lying about everything. At first, it was small. She forged a report card to cover AC. Then another, and another. By the time she graduated high school, she hadn't actually graduated, but she told them she had. She even told them she got a scholarship to Ryerson University. She didn't. Every day, she'd pack a bag and take the bus to nowhere. She'd sit in libraries, coffee shops, even parks, pretending to be someone who existed only in her parents' dreams. She printed fake syllabi, wrote fake tuition receipts. She even convinced them she was volunteering at a hospital. None of it was real, but lies only last so long. Daniel Wong was the opposite of everything her parents wanted. A high school friend, laid back, drug dealer on the side. And he made Jennifer feel free. When she was with him, she wasn't a failure. She was herself. But when her parents found out, they snapped. They banned her from seeing him, confiscated her phone, took her everywhere, even to and from work. It was surveillance under the name of love. Jennifer played along, but secretly, she and Daniel never stopped texting. And then came the night she moved out. She told her parents she'd elope with Daniel. They disowned her, but within 2 weeks, she came crawling back. Alone, Daniel had moved on. He had a new girlfriend. Jennifer was out of options, out of lies, out of time, until she came up with a new plan, a horrifying one. If her parents were the only thing standing between her and freedom, then maybe they didn't have to be around anymore. She didn't do it herself. She didn't have to. She knew people. Daniel knew people. People who knew people. She told Daniel about it first. Said she wanted to die. That maybe someone could make it look like a robbery gone wrong. But Daniel didn't bite. He ghosted. So Jennifer tried again. Different number. Different contacts. This time it worked. She promised $10,000. Said the money would be in her father's room. After the job was done, the plan was simple. 3 men, 1 night, 1 clean hit. Her mother, her father, no witnesses, except for Jennifer. She'd be tied up, a survivor. November 8th, 2010, Markham, Ontario, 10:02 p.m. Jennifer's upstairs in her room. She texts the final signal. VIP access is unlocked. Moments later, 3 men enter through the front door. Jennifer comes downstairs. They take her phone, tie her up, but not too tightly. They drag her parents into the living room. Then, gunshots. Her mother, Bitch, is executed instantly. Her father, Han, is shot in the face. And somehow, he survives. Jennifer is left upstairs, crying, sobbing, calling 911. Jennifer, voice shaking. Please, I don't know what happened. They shot my parents. The police arrive within minutes. At first, she plays the role well. Shaken, tearful, innocent, but something is off. There's no forced entry. Nothing stolen. Her bindings? Too neat. Too loose. And her story? Inconsistent. Over the next 10 days, the mask starts to crack. Her father wakes up, and he remembers everything. He saw her, talking to the men, like she knew them, like it was planned. And just like that, Jennifer Pan is no longer the victim. She's the suspect. Detective with a low, calm voice. Jennifer, we gave you time. We gave you space. Now tell us what really happened. Jennifer, okay, I'll tell you everything. It had been 11 days. Jennifer Pan sat across from detectives in a cold metal chair, puffy-eyed, pale, exhausted, but not broken. Not yet. The detective leaned in, not aggressively, gently, like a parent disappointed, not angry. And Jennifer, she blinked, swallowed hard, and said, okay, I'll tell you everything. But what came next wasn't quite everything. Not the first time, or the second, or even the third, because lies have layers. And Jennifer Pan was still peeling them back. She started with this. They weren't supposed to kill anyone. It was just supposed to scare them. I hired them to break in, maybe rough them up. That's it. A shake of the head from the detective. Not disbelief, disappointment, because they had the texts, the timestamps, the withdrawal receipts. And now, her father's statement. So the detective leaned forward again. Jennifer, your father's awake. And that's when her face changed. No more tears. No more shaking. Just stillness. She realized the lie was dead, and she was alone. So she tried something new. Something colder. I was trapped. I didn't want them dead. I just wanted it all to stop. Over the next hours, Jennifer unraveled a version of the truth. Distorted, fractured, but revealing. She admitted it began long before the night of the murder. She was drowning in lies, and they kept getting deeper. By the time she was 23, she hadn't graduated high school, had no job, no degree, no life of her own. Every day was performance, every conversation rehearsed, every dollar borrowed from the future. If they found out, they'd kill me, or worse, disown me. And then what was I? So when Daniel Wong dumped her, claiming he needed someone honest, Jennifer saw red. She wanted him back. And more than that, she wanted her parents gone. Jennifer didn't just hire one man. She hired three. Through Daniel, she got connected to Lenford Crawford. Hey, homeboy. He connected her to David Mulvaginam and Eric Carty. Each man had a job. Lenford handled logistics. David was a lookout. Eric, the one who pulled the trigger. She gave them the layout of the house, told them where the cash was, and promised a reward when the job was done. Just make it quick and make it look like a robbery. And with that, she went back to her life. Fake smiles, family dinners, church on Sundays, all while the countdown ticked in her pocket. The trial began in 2014. It would last 10 months. The prosecution called it a cold-blooded betrayal. The defense tried to spin it into a desperate cry for help. Neither side could fully explain Jennifer. The courtroom saw her as two people. The daughter, weeping, polite, small in her chair, and the mastermind, texting hitmen while her parents watched TV downstairs. Her father, Handpan, took the stand in a neck brace. He could barely speak, but when he did, his voice broke the room. Handpan, voice trembling. Jennifer was my daughter. Now she's a stranger. The jury watched Jennifer closely. She barely looked at him. On December 13th, 2014, Jennifer Pan was found guilty of first-degree murder of her mother, Bitch Pan, attempted murder of her father, conspiracy to commit murder. She was sentenced to life in prison, with no possibility of parole for 25 years. So were Lenford Crawford and David Mulvaginam. Eric Carty, the only one who avoided trial, died in custody before the verdict. There were no outbursts, no sobbing, no last-minute apologies. Jennifer just sat there, staring ahead, expressionless, like the performance was finally over And she didn't know what to do without a script. Jennifer was taken to Grand Valley Institution for Women, medium security, 27 years old, convicted murderer. She applied for an appeal in 2015. Denied. Her father and brother, Felix, have completely severed ties. She will never see them again. When I lost my wife, I lost everything. When I lost my daughter, I lost the past. This case left more than a family in ruins. It left a country asking, how does someone so quiet, so seemingly kind, end up capable of something so monstrous? Some blame the tiger parenting, the suffocating expectations, the shame-based discipline. Others blame Daniel, said he manipulated her, pulled the strings. But maybe Jennifer Pan was simply a tragedy of her own making. She lived in a cage, yes, but she chose the fire. And in the end, no one was left unburned. Years later, Jennifer was asked in an interview, if you could speak to your mother now, what would you say? She didn't cry. She didn't flinch. She just whispered, I'm sorry you had to die for me to live. But she isn't living. Not really. She's waiting, inside those walls, for a future that will never come. If this case shocked you, smash the like button. Subscribe for weekly deep dives into the darkest true crime stories, and hit the bell to never miss an upload. Comment below, what's the most terrifying case you've heard of?